let's talk about video and social media marketing. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because I think people need to be aware that to get the best price for your home next year, it won't be as easy as it has been for the last 2 years. So you need all of the whistles and bells. You need all of the tools, all the opportunities around a marketing campaign that's bespoke for you. And in the world we live in today, video and social media marketing is a big part of that. It's not a part of the service for every agent out there. And I'm not going to talk about them or name names because it's not my place to do it. But what I am going to talk about is your individual property and how to maximize the eyeballs that are looking at that property. And we do a couple of things differently. Michael, how have you found the reaction to your video and the social media presence for your sellers? Is it something which people enjoy looking at your properties and they mention it, the videos, or are they kind of just looking at photos and the floor plan? And is there anything else that we do with the marketing that you think sellers really benefit from and really buyers gain trust and I guess that immersive part of moving? You know, what's your take on that?
Lots of questions. Well, the video side of things, I think gets a great response from buyers and sellers alike. You can show a property off so much better with a video than you can just with the camera. And I also believe that buyers, once they've watched the video, it makes sense, because I think a lot of people think on a photograph you've stretched the picture, you've used the wide, you know, the fisheye lens, and if it's a camera or a drone flying overhead, I think people just believe it a lot more, which helps massively.
Yeah.
And these videos also introduce us to people, so when you do meet buyers for the first time, they've already seen you, if that makes sense. They've already know who you are. They've seen you. Yeah, I think it helps. It starts on the front foot then.
Yeah, totally agree. I think that's really important. I think with the video, you can talk about the area. You can show what things look like, not just a caption. You can show the whole room. You can show from a drone perspective what sits around the property. Obviously, from a location point of view, normally we're presenting down the street or in front of the property as well. So you get a lay of the land rather than just a perfect front shot photo. And that gives trust. But I also think the engagement, the experience, that immersive kind of experience for a buyer, it gives them much more of a perspective of what they're going to look at. And it probably stops a lot of time-wasted viewings, I would say, as well, Neil. I know you're big on timekeeping for buyers and punctuality from their perspective, because it's important. Time is money. But the video helps with that for the seller. It helps the seller not have so many no-shows, which is a big frustration for any seller, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's interesting that it's a topic, because I had, you might hear the dog bark in a second, but I had a valuation just this afternoon where, interestingly enough, the client actually worked for 4 different estate agents, very well-known estate agents around here, but she's followed Dan and I's page from the start and seen us grow in just over 2 years. And she was so complimentary of the videos, and it was her that said, I bet you eliminate a lot of time wasters from it. So we get great amount of feedback from buyers that pretty much every viewing, they're like, seen your video, I love your viewing, I love your video, I like what you guys are doing. You can see how different we are to the other estate agents, which I think is, everyone uses the word refreshing. Can I say it? Refreshing. Which we are to buyers and sellers. And let's face it, we're here to work for and with our sellers, but it benefits the buyers at the same time because it looks a lot better and it's a lot more engaging. And as the guys just touched on, it's all realism. You can't hide from the video side of it.
Yeah, totally agree. Andy, what about social media? Because part of the process is sometimes sellers want their property on the market instantly. Sometimes people want to have a little bit of time before they have viewings, but they would like people to know it's coming to the market. Live video, and we've got our own hashtag called Beat the Portals, which does get replicated in other areas, but it was initially created by us. In fact, Neil, I think, was the creator of that hashtag. that gives the seller the ability to know that the second they give you the commitment, you can walk outside and show their property to hundreds, or if you share it into the local groups, thousands of potential buyers, without the intrusive nature of internal photos and viewings. That's a good starting point, isn't it, for the way that a property could be launched, I think.
Yeah, it gives you the opportunity to, I suppose, soft launch, or like you say, just market straight away. Sign paperwork, thanks very much. Right, let's crack on with marketing. Outside, live video, straight to our Facebook pages, which is in theory our database, and then out to the greater audience on the groups. And I think it's the old cliche of, the database. Well, a database in theory is a list of buyers that haven't bought, so they're cold buyers. Whereas someone following your social media page is someone actively looking in that area. So it's sort of a different take on it. But yeah, instant marketing. Then also going back to what you said, if it takes a week or 2 weeks to launch a property, if that's what the vendor wants, then the social media side of it gives you that off-market opportunity to gauge the price point, perhaps, or get someone in that will pay slightly more because it's not on the open market and they're not going to get outbid, etc.
Yeah. No, that's a point that I was going to mention, that you beat me to the punch. Totally agree. Social media gives you the ability to soft launch. And if you're unsure about the marketing price, you can test it with social media to find out the interaction before you put it on Rightmove. And one of the things with it going on Rightmove is once that's launched, the date is locked in. And once the date is locked in, it's in there unless you reduce it, and then it shows a reduction. So it's much better to use social media, video marketing, live marketing to test the water than testing it on the portals, because in reality, the launch is very important in this world. No, great points there, chaps.